Greetings, globetrotters and curious minds. Today, we plunge into a riveting subject, the 10 countries that, at the moment, are off-limits to Americans. There's a vast world out there, but unfortunately, some parts of it are currently inaccessible for those holding a U.S. passport. You might be wondering, why is this so? Travel restrictions can be the result of a myriad of factors: political tensions, safety concerns, health risks, and even legal complications. More often than not, these restrictions are established to protect the well-being of American citizens. For instance, North Korea is currently off-limits due to heightened political tensions and safety concerns. Iran, on the other hand, due to a turbulent relationship with the United States, imposes stringent immigration rules, making leisurely travel nearly impossible. Other countries inaccessible include the likes of Libya and Yemen, where ongoing conflicts pose significant safety threats. Then there's the case and Mali, where the risk of terrorism and kidnappings are high, or the Central African Republic, where civil unrest continues to disrupt daily life. South Sudan, Syria, and Afghanistan are other examples where war, violence, and an unstable political climate have led to travel prohibitions. Despite these prohibitions, it's important to remember that the world keeps spinning and circumstances evolve. Travel are not permanent, and nations that are closed today may be open to exploration tomorrow. That's why it's essential to stay informed about the shifting global landscape and the evolving travel guidelines. To ensure you don't miss out on any critical updates on global travel restrictions or our in-depth exploration of these intriguing yet untapped destinations, hit the subscribe now button on the lower right-hand corner of this video. This will unlock an atlas worth of discoveries. Remember, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. So let's keep our hopes high and look forward to the day when we can freely roam this vast world again. First up on our list is the enigmatic North Korea. This Asian nation is notorious for its tightly controlled borders, primarily due to its historical and political isolation from the world. It's a country steeped in secrecy and tightly controlled by its government. Since the Korean War, when North and South Korea were divided, the North has taken intense measures to control its borders to prevent defections and limit foreign influence. Moreover, the tense relations with the United States further increase this isolation. Stemming from the Korean War, where the U.S. supported South Korea, these tensions have only heightened over the years due to North Korea's controversial nuclear program. The creation and testing of these weapons have led to numerous sanctions and condemnations from the international community, particularly the United States. And when it comes to why this country is a no-entry zone for Americans specifically, it's more than just political tensions. In response to the detainment and death of American student Otto Warmbier, the U.S. government implemented a ban in 2017, prohibiting American passport holders from entering the country. The U.S. Department of State cites serious risk of arrest and long-term detention as the primary reason behind this travel restriction. This, coupled with North Korea's general closed-off nature, makes it an inaccessible destination for Americans. As we journey westwards, we arrive at Syria. This Middle Eastern nation, renowned for its wealth of history and myriad of cultures, is, regrettably, grappling with an ongoing civil and political crisis. What was once a vibrant hub of tradition and hospitality is now a hotbed of conflict, making it a no-go zone for American citizens. This outright prohibition is a result of the multitude of factors. On one hand, the devastating civil war that broke out in 2011 has left the country in tatters. The conflict has bred a hostile environment with frequent instances of terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict, posing a significant threat to the safety and well-being of any potential visitors. On the other hand, the U.S. government has issued stern travel advisories against Syria due to these escalating problems. The U.S. Department of State has a Level 4 travel advisory in effect for Syria, urging its citizens not to travel under any circumstances. This is the highest advisory level due to the life-threatening risks prevalent in the country. Moreover, the U.S. Embassy's operations in Syria have been suspended since 2012, further restricting any potential assistance to American citizens that find themselves in a dire situation within Syrian borders. All these factors combined render Syria inaccessible and extremely unsafe for U.S. citizens, casting a long shadow over its rich history and diverse cultures. Our next destination is Iran, a country of astounding historical significance and cultural richness. Widely known as the cradle of one of the world's oldest civilizations, Iran is a repository of a rich tapestry of history that spans over thousands of years. It's a place where the ancient and the modern worlds coexist, where every corner narrates a tale from a different epic. From the awe-inspiring ruins of Persepolis, an ancient ceremonial capital of the Persian Empire, to the vibrant, bustling bazaars of Tehran, Iran's multifaceted allure has long beckoned travelers from around the globe. The genuine warmth and hospitality of the Iranian people, their profound cultural heritage and culinary traditions further enhance its appeal as a tourist destination. Iran's unique blend of modern and traditional arts, its magnificent mosques adorned with intricate tilework, and the labyrinthine alleys that take you on a journey back in time, offer an immersive experience quite unlike any other. However, at present, Iran remains largely inaccessible to travelers from the United States due to ongoing geopolitical complications. The current tensions between the US and Iran, accentuated by issues such as nuclear agreements and sanctions, have led to a sharp decline in bilateral relations. The US Department of State has escalated the matter to a Level 4 travel advisory, strongly urging US citizens to avoid any travel plans to Iran due to the heightened risk of kidnapping and the indiscriminate arrest and detention of US citizens. It is paramount to note that the US government currently lacks diplomatic or consular ties with the Islamic Republic of Iran, leaving them unable to provide protection or routine consular services to US citizens in Iran. These restrictions not only hinder tourism, but also stifle cultural exchange, inhibiting a deeper understanding between the two nations. Such a situation bodes ill for the global community, as it deprives us of the opportunity to celebrate our shared humanity and appreciate the rich tapestry of cultural diversity that binds us together. It's a stark reminder of how geopolitical tensions can cast long shadows on travel, tourism, and cultural exchange areas that often serve as bridges in fostering mutual respect, understanding, and peace amongst nations. Just a stone's throw away, we arrive in Libya. Nestled in the northern part of Africa, Libya is renowned for its sweeping deserts and age-old archaeological sites. Although it's a compelling destination, it is currently not receptive to American tourists, primarily due to an ongoing state of turmoil. The political landscape of Libya is characterized by strife and power disputes, which have been ongoing since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi's regime in 2011. The struggle for control between rival political factions and armed groups has created a chaotic environment, posing potential risks for foreigners. Economically, Libya is grappling with a crisis. Despite being rich in oil reserves, the country faces severe inflation and a lack of basic services, which can make travel challenging and unpredictable. The ongoing conflict has disrupted oil production, and consequently, the economy has taken a hit, making it difficult for the country to provide an accommodating environment for tourists. Perhaps the most daunting factor is the security risk. The presence of extremist groups, the proliferation of weapons, and a high crime rate, coupled with weak law enforcement, make Libya a perilous place. Kidnappings, carjackings, and random acts of violence have been reported, especially targeting foreigners, adding to the reasons why Libya is not currently welcoming American visitors. The enchanting Caribbean island of Cuba, renowned for its pulsating music and mouth-watering cuisine, undoubtedly earns a spot on our list. However, due to its complex history with the United States, visits to this paradise are not as straightforward as one might expect. For American citizens, the path to Cuba is marked with challenges. The primary reason for this is the stringent travel restrictions between the two nations. These restrictions mainly stem from the geopolitical climate that was set in the heat of the Cold War around 6 decades ago. The ideological differences between the US and Cuba's then newly formed communist government led to a series of economic embargoes and travel restrictions. The United States, at the height of Cold War tensions, imposed an economic embargo on Cuba in 1960. In response to the nationalization of American-owned oil refineries in Cuba, the embargo was a strategy designed to pressure the Cuban government into democratization. The embargo encompassed travel restrictions that strictly limited American tourism to Cuba. Even though the Cold War has long since ended, these restrictions still largely remain in place, a testament to the strained relations between the two countries. Despite several policy fluctuations over the years, American tourism to Cuba is heavily regulated and is typically only permitted for specific reasons like journalism, professional research, or family visits, thereby making it difficult for a majority of Americans to explore the vibrant culture and charm of Cuba. Over in South Asia, we find the intriguing kingdom of Bhutan. Nestled amidst the majestic Himalayas, Bhutan is globally renowned for its Gross National Happiness Index, a unique measure that prioritizes the holistic well-being of its people over material growth. However, what really sets this nation apart is its distinct approach to tourism. Bhutan strictly controls its tourism sector, a policy that notably includes a restriction on independent American travelers. But why is this so? The answers lie in the country's commitment to sustainability and cultural preservation. Bhutan's government is acutely aware of the potential pitfalls of mass tourism, the environmental degradation, cultural dilution, and societal disruption that can come with an unregulated influx of tourists. To mitigate these risks, Bhutan has pioneered a high-value, low-impact tourism policy. This strategy limits the number of tourists, focuses on attracting respectful travelers who appreciate Bhutan's unique culture, and includes a daily tariff that funds local conservation and social welfare projects. The prohibition of independent American travelers, along with tourists from other countries, is part of this overall approach. By requiring tourists to travel with a local guide, the government ensures that visitors respect local customs, contribute to the local economy, and leave minimal environmental impact. This might seem stringent, but it supports Bhutan's overarching aim to maintain its cultural integrity and pristine environment, while still sharing its wonders with the outside world. Venturing into the heart of Africa, we come upon the Central African Republic. This country, abundant with biodiversity, is unfortunately considered a no-go zone for American citizens. This travel advisory isn't unfounded. Safety concerns are paramount. One of the primary issues is the political instability that plagues the region. The government's weak hold on power has led to frequent power struggles, with military coups and rebel activities becoming commonplace. Furthermore, ongoing conflicts between armed groups pose a significant risk. These conflicts are often unpredictable and can escalate quickly, making certain regions particularly unsafe. This volatile atmosphere creates an environment where law and order are often disregarded, leading to increased crime and violence. For foreigners especially, the risks are heightened. Incidents of robbery, carjacking, and even kidnapping have been reported, making it a potentially dangerous place for visitors. Emergency services are also unreliable, leaving those in need of assistance in precarious situations. Thus, despite its rich biodiversity, the Central African Republic currently remains off-limits due to these significant safety concerns. Our next destination, Yemen, is a country of vibrant contrasts. It's a land where ancient history harmoniously blends with the unique architecture, telling tales of a marvelous past. Yemen, often referred to as the cradle of Arab civilization, boasts a rich and complex history dating back to the 12th century BC. Its landscape is dotted with architectural wonders, including the Great Dam of Marib, an engineering marvel of the ancient world, and the Old City of Sana'a, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, famous for its unique multi-storied tower houses made of rammed earth. However, the panorama of Yemen's history and architectural splendors is currently overshadowed by an overwhelming present crisis. The political instability in Yemen, sparked by a fierce power struggle among numerous factions, has escalated into a full-blown conflict, making the situation extremely volatile. These ongoing conflicts, rather than mere disturbances, are full-scale armed battles that have, unfortunately, become an integral part of the daily life of Yemen's citizens. The Houthi insurgency in the north, the secessionist movement in the south, and the widespread presence of al-Qaeda and ISIS factions have turned the country into a battlefield. The U.S. Department of State echoes this sentiment with severe travel advisories, citing these conflicts, the high risk of terrorism, civil unrest, health hazards, and kidnapping as the reasons. For Americans, the safety concerns are paramount, making Yemen currently inaccessible and a no-go zone. These factors, combined with the lack of a functional government or diplomatic presence, mean that any kind of assistance or protection typically afforded to U.S. citizens abroad is virtually non-existent in Yemen. As such, the complexities of the conflict and the high-risk environment have essentially rendered Yemen off-limits to Americans. Nestled in the heart of Asia, we uncover Afghanistan, a country with a rich tapestry of history and legendary rugged mountains. Afghanistan's history stretches back millennia, with civilizations dating back to at least 3000 BC. It has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, from the Mauryan and Kushan empires to the Mongols, Mughals, and ultimately, the British Empire. It's a land rich in cultural heritage, with a diversity of ethnic groups, including the Pashtuns, Tajiks, Hazaras, and Uzbeks, each with their own unique traditions and customs. They've all left an indelible mark on the country's culture, cuisine, and architecture, evident in the historical sites scattered across the country, from the grandeur of the Bamiyan Buddhas to the intricate beauty of the Minaret of Jam. However, the present state of Afghanistan stands in stark contrast to its vibrant historical past. Struggles for power and conflicts between rival factions persist, creating an atmosphere of volatility that could boil over at any moment. The ongoing unrest has fostered an environment of unpredictability and danger, particularly for foreigners. The risk of kidnappings, terrorist attacks, and other acts of violence is alarmingly high. This reality has substantially impacted the Afghan people and their economy. Trade has been disrupted, industries have collapsed, and unemployment rates have soared. The uncertainty has also affected tourism, once a promising sector for Afghanistan's economy, and has left its beautiful landscapes and historical sites largely unexplored. Speaking of landscapes, the towering mountains of Afghanistan are truly a sight to behold. The Hindu Kush mountain range, with its snow-capped peaks, offers a thrilling challenge for mountaineers and hikers. The rugged terrain and harsh climate make it a tough yet rewarding expedition. The awe-inspiring views of the valleys below, the rare wildlife sightings, and the sense of accomplishment that comes with scaling these peaks are unparalleled experiences that would leave any adventurer spellbound. Regrettably, Afghanistan's tumultuous security situation has made these remarkable experiences inaccessible to most people. The U.S. government strongly discourages travel to this region due to significant security concerns. Consequently, the rich history, cultural heritage, and natural beauty of Afghanistan, for now, remain a treasure chest waiting to be unlocked, particularly for Americans. At last, our journey takes us to Venezuela, nestled in the heart of South America. A country possessing breathtaking landscapes and a rich, vibrant culture, Venezuela is currently off-limits for U.S. citizens, and this is majorly due to the country's political and economic volatility. Digging deeper into this, Venezuela's political instability has been a concern for the world for quite some time now. The nation has been embroiled in a power struggle between the opposition and the ruling party, leading to widespread civil unrest and violent protests. This political tension has culminated in a situation where the U.S. Department of State issued a Level 4 Do Not Travel Advisory, warning against travel to Venezuela due to crime, civil unrest, poor health infrastructure, and arbitrary arrest and detention of U.S. citizens. In addition to political strife, Venezuela is also grappling with a severe economic crisis. The country has been experiencing hyperinflation, the collapse of the national currency, and massive shortages of basic necessities like food and medicine. The economic hardship has led to a humanitarian crisis, with critical levels of malnutrition and a mass exodus of citizens seeking refuge in neighboring countries. This combination of political and economic instability makes Venezuela a high-risk destination for U.S. tourists, prompting the government to discourage its citizens from traveling to this otherwise beautiful country. So there you have it, folks. A roundup of 10 countries that are sadly off-limits for American tourists in 2024. It's an unfortunate reality we must acknowledge, as these travel restrictions peek at the larger implications on global understanding and cultural exchange. The richness and diversity that different countries offer are indeed the core of our global heritage. Travel helps to break down barriers and fosters a sense of mutual respect and understanding among different cultures. It gives us a chance to understand the world better, promoting peace, unity, and international relations. With the current travel bans, there's a tangible disruption of these cultural exchanges. We are missing out on the chance to experience the richness of these countries, their history, culture, traditions, and the people who are at the heart of it all. This is a significant setback, not only for us as individuals eager to explore the world, but also at a larger scale, affecting the global community. But all's not lost. Our world is bountiful, teeming with a multitude of other destinations that are just as enchanting and waiting for you to discover them. Let's not forget that the essence of travel lies not in the destination, but in the journey and the experiences it brings. As we wrap up this journey today, remember to press that like button if you found this video helpful. Sharing is indeed so spread the knowledge, and share this video with your fellow Globetrotters. It's crucial to stay informed about changing travel advisories. always prioritizing safety when drawing up your travel plans. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more intriguing travel insights and updates from across the globe. Let's continue to explore and respect the world we live in. Until next time, safe travels, and remember, the world is your oyster.